Hello everyone, I'm back after a long hiatus. On my review of Femforce issue 190, I had a commenter, Michael Armstrong, ask me who my 2 or 3 favorite Femforce members are and why. And I thought that would be a fun topic for a video, so I jumped right on that. And my list and the reasons why they're in my top 3 will follow. Before that, though, I would like to plug Michael Armstrong's art. You should check out his gallery at Comic Art Fans. It's Michael Armstrong at Comic Art Fans, and I'll put the link in the description. Okay, I'll start with my favorite Femforce member, the Blue Bulleteer, Laura Wright. Her costume is classic. It harkens back to the Golden Age. Golden Age Phantom Lady. Phantom Lady started off as a Quality Comics character, and when Quality stopped publishing her, Eisner Iger's shop took her to Fox Publishing, Victor Fox's company, and they changed the costume design a little bit, and they put Matt Baker on art chores, and that red and blue costume is really the classic Phantom Lady costume. So the Blue Bulleteer's costume is inspired by that. It goes back to that, and it was a very sexy and revealing costume. And you've got to think this costume was sexy and revealing back in the 1940s. Bill made it a little more revealing, maybe even a little sexier, and it's just, a classic costume. So, that's, just visually, that's one of the reasons why she's my favorite. The character herself, this is a character that's self-made. She's not a powered superheroine. She learned the skills and developed her physical prowess to be able to fight crime. She became a good marksman. She worked to be physically fit, and she had to develop her brains and think. And so it was really wits and determination that made her able to be a superheroine. There's just in kind of the 40s nature of the character, the fact that she's a detective-based character. There's a lot of pulp, kind of noir influence in the character, and often in the visual representations of the character. I like that stuff. So that draws me to the Blue Bulleteer as a character. And that Golden Age inspiration, they really gives the character a sense of history and a sense that, there's a backstory there. Obviously AC has fleshed out that backstory and carved it away from some of the Phantom Lady aspects, but even the name Laura Wright is close to Sandra Knight, so it's a fun character that is kind of from a different time period in terms of the way the character is depicted, both in the written stories and visually. And I really like that. So my second favorite character is Miss Victory, specifically the Joan Wayne Miss Victory, now Joan Wayne Starrett. She's the leader of the team, the moral compass of the team. At the beginning I really thought she was kind of a little bit too much of a cardboard cutout. This is despite the fact that she started off, it was kind of a neat little gimmick. She, in the early issues, she was an old lady with a daughter and a grandchild, and but when she took the V45 pill, it restored her to the days of her youth. She had the youthful appearance and the power and kind of superpowers that she had gained through the V45 pill. But it would wear off, and she would return to kind of being a normal, elderly old woman. So that was neat, but when she was in her superhero persona, she was kind of flat as a character. But, she went from being this straight arrow character, and there was a villain, who was actually Laura Wright's former boyfriend who'd been driven mad, but he caused her to basically become an anti-hero, the anti-hero Rad. And, that turn to a heel sort of character, little wickedness showed through in her personality. And when she eventually returned to being a superheroine, and now permanently young and with all the powers that the V47 drug provided her, you had that background where you'd seen she was a little different. She'd also had some tragedy happen. And then she and Paragon entered into a relationship, and eventually they got married. And, the way the marriage has been handled, her responsibilities haven't really changed. Neither have his. He plays a role in her life. She is in his life. Neither's wants or desires kind of take precedence over the other. And this married superheroine idea is kind of rare in comic books. That adds another layer to her characterization and her story. She's now permanently young. She's a mother. She's had many tragedies. She has conflicts with her daughter. She's gone from what I initially viewed as kind of a Supergirl type character, and I don't say that in a positive way. I was never really a fan of Supergirl. I thought she didn't have much personality. She's gone from that to a complex and fully kind of realized character. Another reason I like Miss Victory, I liked her first costume dress with the long V-cut down to her navel. It was very revealing, very sexy. As a young man, that was nice to look at. I love her current costume. It's easily also her longest lasting costume. It just gives off the vibe of a strong, powerful, mighty superheroine. Her look is good. Honestly, I think it's her characterization that has really drawn me into her, as she's risen up from not being among my top to for last several years. She's very close to the top, and even though she might be considered kind of AC's version of that Supergirl archetype, she's just been given a far greater and evolving characterization over the years, and she's just a great character that stands on her own. Finally, in third place is Tara Fremont, Tara the Jungle Girl. From the first issue, her camo bikini costume, kind of a leggy, busty brunette. I've always had a soft spot for leggy, busty brunettes. The Linda Carter Wonder Woman series is, probably one of my all-time favorites, and I always kind of saw Linda Carter when I read Tara or looked at Tara stories. I loved Tarzan movies when I was a kid with Johnny Weissmuller. I watched the Tarzan TV series with Ron Ely when I was a kid, and for that reason, that the Jungle Girl genre appeals to me. I liked at the beginning. She wasn't even technically in the Femforce yet. She was just a jungle expert called in to help with a mission that they had. But I liked that she was a normal human being who had developed herself physically and mentally. It made her somewhat relatable. The giantess power that she was given has never been something that's really appealed to me. However, I do know why she was powered up. A non-powered heroine would kind of be a liability. When the team faced extraordinarily powered beings, they couldn't really do much with her in those situations. She would have been cast aside pretty quickly. So by giving her a power, it has allowed her to have a more legitimate role in some of the epic battles that they've had. So it has ultimately benefited the character. Personality-wise, from the very start, I liked that she wasn't perfect. She sometimes acted, sometimes was depicted, sometimes was denigrated as a spoiled little rich girl. Sometimes she could be pretty verbally sharp with people. She had a stepmother she was at odds with. She had good reason to be. She had self-doubts. Sometimes she was too righteous. Sometimes she was too trusting. So the character had flaws. Over the years, she's softened and as she's matured. And that's also something that makes her relatable and is a strength of the character. Did I mention she's a leggy, busty jungle girl who runs around in a camo bikini? Anyway, that's why I like Tara, and that's why she's my third favorite. And those are my 3 favorite Femforces.